What's wrong with this picture?
$60 just for the gun?
They must think it's some sort of really rare antique. I have no idea what logic that is.
Are they serious?
They are on crack cocaine, obviously. But do they have anything else? It does not look like they do. Hot garbage. Hot garbage. I don't think there's any special reason that they place certain items so you just can't see the price. I think they like being hassled to see what's in the case. That's what you would really think. Game's cheaper at GameStop.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it comes in that thing too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this one has a scratched ass wrestling game in it. But not bad. Looks like garbage, but not leaving it behind. First time I see retro games at Goodwill this year. 15 bucks each. Mortal Kombat and X-Men.
I don't know if there's any guy yet. Try.
This is guaranteed not to work.
I mean, it's all
Keep the change. I mean,
Alright guys, as you saw, hopefully, decent finds this week. Not the best, not the greatest, but decent. I believe this was over the course of maybe 3 or 4 days thrifting, and this is cutting out most of the plain recouper stuff because, once again, I haven't really had that much feedback on it, but I don't want to clog these videos up with me showing, like, a Sony Walkman. I don't even know what else I found recently. Caller IDs, stuff like that. Like, it's just not... It's not interesting. It's not interesting. But let's start off with probably the weaker find of the week. These were at Savers. I didn't actually get any footage of these. Alicia found these, actually. Unfortunately, these Wiimotes have a lot of battery corrosion in there. It's going to take a lot to clean out. Been picking up a lot of Wii controllers lately. Hopefully going to be able to sell some Wii systems, but I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning on these. Have some nunchucks that go with them. These are obviously just perfectly fine because they're nothing. As long as they're not like ripped at the cord, they're going to be working fine. So $6 for that. Luckily I had a whole bunch of other recoupers to purchase with that from what I remember, so it wasn't the worst. Let's actually take a look at one of my favorite finds this week. And this is only my favorite find because I'm on a really big Star Trek kick lately. Got a whole bunch of Star Trek graphic novels, most of which I've never even heard of before. Not that I've ever read a Star Trek graphic novel. You know, it's just not something I ever did when I was growing up. So first up we have Star Trek Next Generation, The Gorn Crisis. And these were all $4 each at a Goodwill. Most of them have plastic sleeves, which is nice. We got Star Trek Next Generation Forgiveness. Unfortunately, these are like from two different comic book publishers, so I don't know if they have any relation to each other. This one is Star Trek Next Generation, The Last Generation. I have no idea what order to read them in because I have no idea. This one is Intelligence Gathering. And the last one, Hive. These were $4 each. Would have really liked to have got them at half price, but they're in the case. And I feel like red, at least in my area, is a color you rarely see on sale at a Goodwill. I feel like that's something they just have it set up that way. So red barely ever goes on sale. It's always like green, yellow, and blue that I see on sale, usually. Next up, we have some controllers that I found at a Goodwill. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it until after I'd already filmed the clip, but this Treyarch Call of Duty Black Ops controller is actually broken. I've never seen a controller missing its shoulder button before, but it's missing the right shoulder button. Seems like a really, really cool controller. It's a wired controller with a very like thick cord that'd be very hard to rip, and like the actual thumbsticks are in good shape aside from a little bit of like a dog chewing on the right one there, but the controller just feels really good. And unfortunately it's broken. It has these back buttons, which I think is like a thing. I haven't played an Xbox in a while, so I don't know if that's like something that all Xbox controllers have, but these are for like Melee, or Combat 1 and Combat 2. So maybe that like pulls your knife or something in Call of Duty. And also there was an Ouya controller. I don't know anything about this other than my friend Keith purchased one back when it first came out, and it sucks. And the controllers suck, but I think they sell for like maybe $15. Problem is, I feel like there's a way you're supposed to open these, and I feel like it's like a really weird way. I'm probably gonna have to look it up to see if there's like batteries in there. I don't know if it comes with batteries. There's no place to charge it, so presumably it has to have batteries of some sort. I'm just gonna have to look up how to do it. I don't want to rip it apart accidentally. It's like a really shoddily made controller, so don't want to take any risks with that and just have to throw it out, you know. Rounding out our controller finds for the week, at a thrift store I was able to get a pretty good shape N64 controller, gray. Seems to be the only color of N64 controller I'm finding lately. The stick is not in as good a condition as some of the other N64 controllers I found lately, but for $5 I didn't want to leave it behind. One of the first and only games that I'm keeping for my collection, because when I grew up, when I was younger, The Land Before Time was like that one straight to video series that my mom just would not stop buying. I really liked the first one when they're trying to get to the promised land, but after that the movies just kind of went down in quality and just started really sucking. But she kept buying them. Every year they would come out with a new one, and I would get it for like Easter or Christmas, depending on what time it was coming out. Like clockwork. I think they were up to like 9 of them by the time that she stopped buying them for VHS. But this is Land Before Time Big Water Adventure. Little platformer. Probably really, really bad. Paid $3 for it. One of the things, and let me know if you guys feel the same way. PS1 games, are they becoming really, really hard to find at thrift stores? I feel like years ago I used to see a ton of PS1 games, given they would usually be sports, or like Tony Hawk would be like the best you would find. But now just like seeing any PS1 game, even if it's a sports game, I'm just like, oh, a video game! Like, and that's not how it should be. Like, I feel like PS1 sold better than that, than to be that scarce at a thrift. Like, imagine not being able to find a PS2 game at a thrift. Or a Wii game. Like, I understand it probably didn't sell as well as those systems, but still. Where the fuck are they? At one of my local Goodwills for $7 total, plus tax or whatever. Got 2 Wii games. We got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. Complete, I believe. Pretty good shape. Recoups for maybe $10 on a good day. And Wii Sports Resort. And I believe at this thrift store they actually had 2 copies of Wii Sports Resort, but the second one was absolutely mangled. And this one's actually in like perfect condition. So this one's going to recoup for maybe 10 to 15. Made a very sizable purchase. $77 purchase total. After a 20% off reward discount, whatever they call them at Savers. $77 spent at this thrift store. Picked up, for me, 5 items. Well, 1 item for me, 4 for recouping. And a whole bunch of stuff that Alicia wanted to get, like some really old antique-y looking mirror / picture frame / table clock kind of thing. Her stuff is actually worth a decent amount, but I think she's keeping it. Dropped $77 at a thrift store, which is probably the most I've spent at a thrift store, possibly ever. Picked up 4 games, 3 Wii games. This one I actually thought was worth a decent amount more. Apparently on the 360 and the PS3 it's worth about $20. On the Wii it's like a $10 game. Paid... Well, all the games ended up being $2.99, even before the discount, because the kid, I think he rang them up as DVDs or whatever their DVD price is, and then he realized it afterwards and didn't want to correct it, so that worked out for us. Missing the manual copy of Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, game I've been reselling pretty decently lately. Another copy of Wii Sports Resort, this one missing the manual. Just about as good condition, a few scratches on there, but should still go for about 10 to 15, even without the manual. And the big game there, I guess, I'm going to have to try and find a replacement case for it, because I'd rather sell it in an actual PS3 case rather than this janky GameStop made one. I believe GameStop would have made this. This is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Goes for about $20. Like I said, $2.99, probably the best recouper I had there. And the big item, the one that really pushed the price up and was the main reason we even did this big purchase, because I've been looking for one of these, and to be honest, I was really hoping to hold out to get a Superboy S, but you figure after a 20% off discount, $9.99 price sticker they have on there. They even have the Retro Games Plus original sticker on there of $80. These still go for about $50 to $60, I believe. Unfortunately, this one is missing the charging cable, so I have not been able to test it, and I believe all the charging cables I have are currently in storage. It takes like one of those old phone jacks. I forget what it's called. No, I think it's like a mini USB port. Mini USB. Like one of those charging cables. I think all the ones I have, because I use an iPhone now and I've used an iPhone for a while, are out in like the shed or whatever. I'm gonna have to go dig for one, or find one at a thrift store for like $1. I'll probably do that. I'll hopefully be able to update you guys on that in the future, maybe next thrifting video. But got a Superboy for the collection. Let me know what you think about those. If you have tried the Superboy and the Superboy S, and if you've tried the Retro Duo Portable, I would really like your opinion on which one is the best one for portable Super Nintendo gaming. But please like the video, comment below with whatever you found during the week at your thrift stores. I'd really like to know what you guys are finding out there and what area of the country or what country you're in. Subscribe if you're new, and if you would like to, you can go support me on Patreon, like my 3 Patreon supporters are doing: Todderbert, Dr. Doge Productions, and Hugh Stewart. Appreciate you guys, and as always, keep it real, Internet. Love you guys.